Okay. Yes, yes, yes. It looks like we're connecting. Okay, great. Good morning. Happy Friday. Family Friday. Ah, I am in Savannah visiting right now. Really quick visit. Really hoping to enjoy this beautiful weather here. You might be hearing some of the birdies. It looks like my headphones don't want to connect, so I will just tap in this way. If you're on, say hi. I see you. Good morning, Angela. Um, I had this amazing 5-day training that I want to tell you all about. And it was so lovely to be a student again and be a participant in a class. And I've been doing and taking classes and choosing that more and more again. I hadn't really been pulled to any classes lately. It's been maybe 2 years. So busy getting other things done and resting and recuperating, uh, figuring out what to change and create and choose with business, how to connect with people in a different way when maybe they're shut down or distracted or overwhelmed, they're burned out, they're hiding away, like all these different things. So it hadn't really been as much of a priority. Like I'm still was learning, I still was reading, I was still listening to my podcasts and and adding in information and tools in a different way. But there's something about really taking the time and really making yourself a priority and respecting yourself enough to be like, when it's a yes, and it was very much a yes, okay, I'm doing everything I need to do and I'm blocking out this time. And it was 2 hours every night, which always ended up being more than that because the teacher, Michael Bernoff, was always giving us all these free content and staying longer and answering questions. And so instead of it being 8 to 10 for me in my evening, it would sometimes be up to midnight. And you would stay because the content was so amazing and the people were so engaged. And I missed that. I missed having all these people to talk to that were enthusiastic, that were like, yes, I'm ready to be a leader in my life. I'm ready to respect myself and respect the people in my life enough to like do what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it. And I was like looking at this and it's one of those moments where you got to really shine a light on all these different aspects of yourself that maybe you had addressed, and then it starts coming up again for you to look at in a different way. And so very, very grateful for that. Hi, Jennifer. Good morning or good afternoon for you, right? And it's one of those things where I had to really look at two words I want to give y'all to play around with. One was integrity, and I'm going to send out an email. So be on the lookout for it. I'm going to send out an email of a discussion I had about integrity recently that was pretty powerful, connected to writing and creating, and just I'm really looking at this. And if it's about creating your business, if that's creating if you, a lot of you are writers and creators, artists, looking at that, but also for doing business, like where's the integrity with that? And then, and I'm going to get into the topic for the Facebook Live as well, a little bit more too, where it's about being a leader and what does that look like? And since it's Family Friday, I'm going to start with the family, but this can really be applied to anything. And I really invite you to check out Michael Bernoff. I'm going to put his name in the chat. This is information I learned from him, but I'm not going to go into everything he talks about. I'm just going to tell you about how, what I learned and how it impacted me, and just ask you one or two questions so that you can look at this for yourself. When we're people of integrity, we do what we say we're going to do. We do it for our health. We do it for our family. We do it in our relationships, for business. And that was an ouchy word for me. I thought I was someone of integrity. I very much value when people do what they say that they're going to do. And I always thought, because since I'm everyone's emergency contact, since I'm a lot of people's go-to in crisis when they're dealing with transitions and change, that they were seeing me also as someone of integrity. And I am, for the most part. And yet with this course, I looked at, wow, where am I not actually showing up? And where am I not doing what I said I was going to do? Is it not getting in all of the self-care that I said I was going to do? Is it not posting as frequently as I said I was going to post? Is it, not promoting classes in the way that I said I was going to, letting people know all the different aspects of my business? Is it in my relationships where am I changing plans on people a lot? Am I canceling? Just really, there's just so many different ways that this can look like. And it's also with my communication. How am I communicating with people? Am I being the living model of what I say to people in my classes? And again, for the most part, I am. And yet I leaned into all those uncomfortable, crunchy bits of when I get cranky and irritable, when I'm short with people in my communication, where I might come off as superior, condescending, where I'm running low on my resources for energy, my patience, when you're having these long days and you're giving all day long, and then someone asks you for yet another thing, and you're like, where can I be kind to myself and this person right now? And sometimes it's a bit of a stretch, and so I was looking at this, and I started with family, and I started with, am I actually being who I say I would like to be and doing the things I would like to do with my family? Am I seeing them? Am I calling them? We used to have these family Zooms during the peak of everything going on in the world, when we really couldn't have seen each other, where there were so many travel restrictions that it wasn't an option. And we were doing that on a regular basis. And I know that I've been reaching out to family to try to do these Zooms, and they're not really following back up. And I think that's the tricky part in any area of our life, be it family, relationships, business. When you're showing up and you're doing the things you say you're going to do, and other people don't, and they're not living with integrity, and they're not respecting themselves enough to show up, or they're prioritizing other things, and maybe they're being a leader for their family and for themselves in a different way. It's tricky because you're constantly having to adjust, right? You're pivoting and pivoting and pivoting, and you're wondering, well, is there anyone to co-create with, to partner with, to connect with right now in a way that I would like to connect with? So I was looking at this with family, and they're interwoven. If you're going to be a leader in your family, you need to have integrity for yourself and for them. When I say I'm going to pick you up from the airport, when I say I'm going to help you move, when I say that I'm going to cook a meal for you, when I say that I'm going to pick up a meal for you, it's not always about cooking, right? All these different things. When I say I'm going to help you with your homework, when I'm going to look at your resume, there's just so many examples. Am I going to do it? Am I going to follow through? Or am I just going to say the words and not? And I talk about this a lot with the families I work with. A lot of my parents, they're saying a lot of things to their kids that they're not doing themselves. And you've heard this, right? What's more impactful, what you do or what you say? For me, not only when I was a kid was I watching and looking at what my parents were doing. But even as an adult, my partners, my friends, what I do and how what I choose is way more impactful than all the words coming out of my face. Okay. And they has to match. There has to be a congruency with that, a resonance with that. So I was looking at this with my family and I was saying, okay, what have I been telling my family that I was going to do that I haven't taken the steps to do yet? Maybe I am planning on it. Am I kind of waiting to the last minute? Am I putting it off? Like, oh, I'm going to go visit my brother. Have I bought the tickets? Have I put the dates in the calendar? Yes, I also require for him to coordinate with me, but I can start on my part. There are aspects of it that are within my control, right? When I say I'm going to be on a Zoom with you, I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to check in periodically. Have I put that in the calendar? Have I scheduled that? Have I reached out and followed through with, okay, let's do this, right? For friends, I have friends all over the world. You know, many of you are those friends, right? Thank you for being here. And when I say I'm going to call you, when I say I'm going to message you, when I say I'm going to reach out, I better do it. If I'm a person of integrity, I better do it. And if I can't, I better communicate that to you, right? And so I'm looking at this, and I think that there's aspects in which I was kind of slipping up, and especially in the last 2 years with so many deaths, so many people passing. I mean, more than 12 in 2 years. And yet, even in the midst of upheaval, and even in the midst of transitions and change and grief and sadness, in those moments, I think that that's part of where I lean into my organizational skills and into those rhythms of self-care that are part of me respecting myself and me being a leader for me, for my family, and for the people that are counting on me, the people that are looking to me as an example. If I don't do it, how will they know how to do it? How will they see an example of that and be like, okay, I can do it too, even though I am really in an intense moment of challenge right now. I am going through so many different transitions. How will they know if I don't do it? And how will I know I can do it if I don't do it? How will I build up the confidence in myself to do this? If I'm not choosing it, if I'm not taking the action steps. So for you, where are you already a leader in your family? Are you being an example? Are you maybe being the first person that chooses something and then everyone else like, oh, I didn't realize that, or I was waiting on you and see how it worked for you before I did it. And then I saw that it worked really well for you. So, okay, maybe now I'll consider it. When it's your clients, are you telling them to be healthy? Are you telling them to do self-care and then you're not doing it? Are you telling them to take their money seriously? Are you telling them to work their business in a certain way and then you're not doing it? We gotta be what we say we are. We gotta show up and take the action steps that we're inviting other people to do. You know, I talk a lot about being a source of joy and really prioritizing finding those moments of joy in day-to-day living. I'm like, right now I'm listening to our neighbor mow some lawn. I'm hearing the birds. I'm on this beautiful porch with this wonderful weather, looking at these great trees and the blue sky. And I'm like, yes, this is definitely where I need to do my Facebook Live today. This is filling up my joy cup. And so if you're looking to be a source of joy and invite people to joy, where are you taking the lead in that? Where are you taking action to create that for yourself and choose that for yourself? And it's not about telling everybody about it, but people are watching you. Like, there are people walking around in front of me, walking their dogs. There's people who are driving. And I know that by me seeing me smile might invite them to smile. It's more likely for them to do that, right? And I get to have it for me. Yay, I get to have it for me. So I'm wondering, what are the ways that it's showing up for you? Where are you taking the lead for your family? Are you the one that's organizing the things? Are you the one that's taking the plans and implementing them? Are you the one that is looking at the big picture? That's another way to be a leader, where you're really willing to be the most conscious person in your family and be aware of what's going on in every person's world, what's going on in all of their bodies, including your body, so that you can know what each body requires. That's also a way to be a leader for your family. Okay. If you're doing the self-sacrificing and the martyrdom, if you're not taking care of your health, if you're not prioritizing your business and doing your business, how will your kids know to do that? How will they know that they can have family and relationships while also receiving money, while also doing business, while also having adventure and travel? One of the things that my mom did was she encouraged us to travel, to explore, to take swimming lessons and all these different things. And yet she was holding back until she stopped holding herself back, because I was like, is it time for you? Is it time for you to have this too? Is it time for you to choose this and for you to actually be the woman and the leader that you have always been, but then the actions don't always match? Could you do that? And so she started doing that, and she started traveling, and you've seen her, like many of you know her. She travels on her own. We travel together, and it's so much fun because she gets to actually honor herself and respect herself enough to have that integrity and do the things that she's been telling her kids her whole life that were possible. She is always been a model. She's a strong, strong woman of how to be a pioneer, how to be a leader. And I was waiting for her to respect herself in the same level and way continuously that she was telling us to respect ourselves. It's very hard as a kid to see someone you love not respect themselves in the way that you know that they deserve. And I love each and every one of you. Some of you I've met in person, some of you I only know online. And I respect you and I love you too much for you to not know that you deserve to respect yourself and to have the life you truly desire by taking the lead, by taking control of your life, by taking those action steps to create the life you would really like to have the health you would really like, to do business your way, to connect with your family and have everyone in your family thrive together and also individually, all the members in your family. I love this comment in the chat, helping them to see things from a different perspective. Yes, that is a great way to be a leader, to give people ideas of something that they might not know about otherwise. But a leader also is aware of what people can receive, what words to say and what not to say, right? When is the right time to say something and when is it time and a different time? And it's not that you're avoiding the conversation. It's like, what will it create if I actually open this door right now? Or is it a time to open that door another time? And that's part of connecting to being a door opener. If you haven't checked out the door opener videos, we've done 2 of them. I'm going to put that in here as a reminder of myself to put that link for y'all in here later. And for those of you that might check this out as a replay later on in another platform, go ahead and let me know, hey, where's that door opener video, or check or search your emails for door opener and you can find it. But the thing is that when we're willing to be leaders, we need to be willing to know what doors to open, what doors to close that will create more. It's about both. It's not only about opening and opening and opening. There are some things that we need to resolve and close the door on so that it doesn't keep affecting us and distracting us from doing what we need to do and doing what we say we're going to do to live lives of integrity. Like, this is one of the things I really appreciate about Michael's perspective and his no nonsense, but also no judgment way of being. Like, he's no fuss. and really direct and very forthright, but also very vulnerable. And he, over the course of the 5-day course that I took, what really demonstrated the things that he had chosen, where he wasn't living a life of integrity, where he wasn't being a leader for himself and his family, and how he was able to shift that one step at a time, one choice at a time, one action at a time, to now have an amazing life that I'm like, I'll have some of that. I'll have that. Would y'all like to have a life where when people look at it and meet you and hear about it, they're like, I would like that too, my way. I would like to have the big house. I would like to be able to travel and work from anywhere. I would like to have these relationships that are super fun and juicy and yummy and honoring and sexy. Like, oh my gosh, I would love that. Oh, I would like to have this really cool car that I don't have to worry about having to fix it all the time, that it can take me where I need to go and it's really nurturing to my body. I'd like that. Ooh, I would like to have days that on a regular basis where I get to have self-care and like have like a spa day or get a massage. Gosh, go and have quality time with my kids and be able to see their games at any time I want and not have to worry about, oh, I have to get this work done. You start creating those spaces now. You start taking those action steps now to plant the seeds for those futures. Are we willing to be a leader now and take action steps now for ourselves and for our families? Okay, and then what would that look like for you? Because what that would look like for me is very different, right? That's what I love about working with families around the world, is that I get to see all of the infinite. And it gets me a little teary-eyed. I just freaking love my family so much. And, I was looking at this. I worked with thousands of kids at this point, and thousands of families with that as well, because it's the families that you directly work with, and then their extended family, and then the families that they interact with. So I'm including the energy of all of that in my acknowledgement. And that's getting a little loud there. 1 second. This is why I wanted my headphones. Hello. Okay. I was looking at this, and it's one of the best things about working with families around the world is you get to get out of your box of thinking that anything has to show up a certain way, that learning has to show up a certain way, that connection has to show up a certain way, that family dynamics have to be a certain way, that communication, all of it, there's so many things. And so they're coming back. That I really love that, because I learned so much from my families, and I hope that I'm inviting them to have a different perspective, like what Angela commented in the chat. I hope that I am being a leader for them and with them. There's no way to really have true connection with people if you're not actually doing it with them as well. And that's one of the things that really showed up for me, and I had to look at with this 5 days of really delving deep and looking at these really uncomfortable hidden aspects of myself that I thought I had addressed or that I needed to look at again. And I'm like, all right, I need to take these action steps. I need to go deeper. I need to keep showing up. I'm going to choose this no matter what it takes, no matter what shows up. And it might be that I need to close some doors on some things. Maybe it's about not doing every aspect of my business right now. That's one of the things that I had to do as part of my self-care over the last 2 years. It's like, all right, a lot of my team are having things going on where they can't show up, but they're communicating that to me. Thank you, team. And without their support and all of that energy, the manpower, okay, I need to tweak things. Otherwise, I can't do all of that on my own. And that's okay. And so I got to be a leader for myself and my family by taking that self-care, by honoring my body, and still showing up where I said I was going to show up in other ways. For many of you, you're in the expansive energies group. You're in the money your way group. You're in the writers group. And I've been showing up the whole year. We started almost a year ago now. And we've been showing up every 2 weeks continuously, right? You guys have been amazing. And I just love that because there is such a level of integrity in the people in those groups that I am so grateful for. It shows me, Siris, you better show up. People are waiting for you. And it shows me they're taking themselves seriously. They're taking their lives, they're taking their money, they're taking them receiving seriously. It's a priority to them. And so I wouldn't do that as well and then keep expanding the ways that I do that. For what reason? So I'm going to look at this for myself, and you're going to see more of videos. You're going to see more of these ways in which we can all be leaders together. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to send out an email, and you're going to hold me accountable to this, right? I'm going to be sending out the email in the next couple of days, but within this next week, in which I'm going to be looking at where are the leaders, and we're going to talk about what are the aspects that make someone a leader. Because I'm looking for more leaders. I'm looking to co-create with more leaders. I'm looking for people who would like to be leaders in their families more, would like to be leaders in their relationships, instead of being at the whim of other people choosing or not, of other people choosing them in relationships, of other people showing up or not, for family events, for those uncomfortable conversations. When you're willing to have those conversations yourself, when you're willing to get out of your own comfort zone, the people who are ready for it and willing to do it with you are going to show up. And that's one of the things that I got very, very clear on. Thank you, Michael, wherever you are in the world. I'm so freaking grateful for you. I'm actually going to continue my training with Michael. I'm going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona. For those of you that are in Arizona, maybe we can meet up. I'll be there next week. And I'm also going to be there Memorial Day weekend, doing some deep dives on communication and on all these different concepts that really address these words that I've talked about and more. Just so much stuff. I can't really do it justice. You really should just check out Michael's classes and for yourself. And do that training, because at the end of the day, I'm going to choose it for me too. It's going to be my birthday gift for me. I'm so freaking excited. I'm turning 40 this year. And I would love these tools for this next decade and beyond. So I'm about it. But yeah, thanks for listening, y'all. Thanks for being here. Keep being leaders for yourself and for your family and with your family. And I will talk to you and see you soon. Bye for now.